Many Nigerians, including the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general election, Mr. Peter Obi, they are criticizing the Independent National Electoral Commission, saying it cannot match the efficiency displayed by the South African Electoral Commission, which has so far done well in uploading results real time, even as elections were on the way. Now, the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakub, is again being attacked on social media platform, especially X, after users saw the transparent manner in which the South African polls were conducted, in that 90% of electoral officers arrived polling centers early and results were quickly uploaded on the IEC website, which is the process of tracking, collating them for every interested citizen. Where you and I all experienced what happened in the 2023 election in Nigeria last year, that majority of the ACOP staff were late in arriving the polling unit, as citizens, including the Director General of World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, wept bitterly that electoral officers as of 11:23 a.m. had not arrived for elections slated to begin at 8:30 a.m. Now, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, has also lent his voice to the criticism that INEC and Yakubu Mamu is facing over a sham election that was conducted in the 2023 general election. Peter Obi is comparing the South African election to that of the Nigerian election, and he took to his Twitter account to lambast the INEC chair over what he just experienced in South Africa. And this is what Mr. Peter Obi said. He said, "The outcome of the recent South African election results remains a shining example of what a transparent and efficient democratic electoral process should look like. With about 60% voters turnout, over 90% of polling units open on time, allowing diaspora voting, the results and updates were real-time without any form of technical glitches during the election. This demonstrated the robustness and transparency of their system. The seamless online dissemination of results further highlights their commitment to democratic principles and technological advancement. This is in stark contrast to the show of shame that the giant of Africa, Nigeria, gave the world in 2023. With less than 30% of the voter turnout and over 60% of the polling stations starting late, no diaspora voting. The elections were plagued by allegations of fraud and widespread irregularities, all forms of glitches, despite an enormous tool of about $1 billion, direct allocation of 313 billion and donor agency support. The process has been widely discredited. The differences between the two countries' electoral process are both stark and lamentable. South Africa's Elections Results Center, with its state-of-the-art electronic board, showcased results with unparalleled precision and speed. Meanwhile, Nigeria's electoral process is mired in controversy and lacks transparency. This glaring juxtaposition is a painful reminder of our country's ongoing struggles with democratic governance. It underscores the urgent need for comprehensive electoral reforms to ensure that our elections are free, fair, and credible. We must learn from South Africa's example and strive to build a system that restores the people's faith in our democracy. The time for action is now, and we cannot afford to delay any longer in addressing these critical issues for the new Nigeria is possible." Aside the speedy transmission of the electoral result, another thing that needs to be discussed is the budget for this election. The budget for the two countries' election differ greatly. While South Africa's IEC used 2.3 billion rand, that is $121.6 million, to conduct the polls, the Nigeria's INEC spent 355 billion naira, more than 200 million naira, on the 2023 general election, which were marred by irregularities. Now, this is the reason why other African countries have left us behind. Nigeria used to be the giant of Africa. We used to be the powerhouse in Africa. We were called the big brother of Africa in times of our military, in times of our judiciary, in times of our election, everything, economy. Nigeria used to be a very vibrant country. Times of everything, being called the big brother in Africa. Everything that Nigeria was positively known for has been eroded. The judiciary has been eroded. Now our judiciary is being used as a pawn by corrupt politicians. If you want a favorable judgment, just go to the judiciary, go to any judge in Nigeria and pay money, and they will give you a favorable judgment. On the floor of the National Assembly, Senator Bukachua openly confessed that he always encroached on his wife's independence. His wife is the president of the Court of Appeal, but he said that he always encroached on her independence and secure favorable judgment for his friends who are those on the floor of the National Assembly. Our military that used to be a very vibrant force, our military that was being used to chase out criminals, to chase out terrorists, to liberate other African countries, our military now is now being massacred by terrorists on our own soil, is being killed in Delta, in Okwama, and you say that the youth in Okwama killed military. Our military has become so weak that we cannot even stop the insecurity on our own soil. This is the same security forces that was being used in the ECOMOG to displace terrorists in other African countries. But we cannot use our military today to restore peace in our country. For decades, we've been fighting terrorism, we've been fighting Boko Haram. Boko Haram has so far metamorphosed into other form of criminality, like banditry, like unknown government, and other form of criminality. We can't even stop it. Everything about the military, everything about our security forces has been eroded. Do you want to talk about the National Assembly? The same National Assembly that stood toe-to-toe with the President Olusegun Obasanjo's third-term ambition. They rejected his bill to create a third-term ambition vehemently, and they stopped him from having a third-term ambition. Can you compare that to what we have currently in the National Assembly? Absolutely no. What we have is rubber stamp. I've never heard of rubber stamp, not until the Ahmed Lawan-led National Assembly and the Godswill Akpabio-led National Assembly. Look at Ajudi Babas. He was openly telling President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whatever bill you bring to the House, we will pass it without any dissenting voice. Look at Akpabio, openly being loyal to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Of course, they are of the same party, but your loyalty should lie to Nigerians, not to the president. You are meant to be there to checkmate the excesses of the president, but they are not doing what Nigerians voted them to go there and do. They are being loyal to the president. We no longer have a National Assembly. And the worst of this, INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission, that is not independent. How can we have a stable society? How can we have a progressive society when the Independent National Electoral Commission is being used by politicians? INEC promised, with all the money they have, over $200 million that was budgeted for the 2023 presidential election. They promised to give Nigeria electronic transmission of results. There was a need why that was included in the Electoral Act, because previous elections have seen where election results are being tampered when it is being taken from the polling unit to the electoral center. The reason why that was done is to checkmate the excesses of tampering with the polling unit results. The electronic transmission of results would have stopped that, but what happened during the presidential election? INEC told us that they had a glitch and that the IRF will not be able to receive the election that is being done on the polling unit. The IRF will not be able to contend the election results from the polling unit, but that of the National Assembly was successfully transmitted. With that, it gave rise to manipulation. Go to the INEC IRF to date. Go and check the election result of Rivers State. It is stating that Peter Obi won in Rivers State, but INEC announced that Tinubu won in Rivers State. Is that not a crime? Is that not a treasonable offense? I mean, we are looking at things unfolding, criminality unfolding in our very eyes. We are looking at our institution being hijacked by criminals. We are looking at political coup taking place in our very own eyes, and we say that we are not being taken serious. Why will any nation in the world take you serious when you cannot conduct a simple thing as an election, where you cannot conduct a very credible, free and fair election? Our election is filled with sham, corruption and fraudulent activities. $200 million, over $200 million. Do you know what that would have done to the economy of this country if it has been invested in key critical infrastructure, but that money was used to conduct an election that is filled with irregularities? I mean, look at what South Africa is doing. Tomorrow, Today, you will go on social media and begin to banter South Africa, but unknowingly to you, South Africa has left your country behind. Many African countries, they've left our country behind because we cannot conduct credible elections. We cannot elect credible leaders. They're not even talking about diaspora voting. The diaspora contribute hugely to the economy of this country, but they are not allowed to participate in the political decision making of the country. How will the country grow when the people that contribute hugely to the economy of the country are not allowed to participate in the election? It is not that we cannot do it, but the criminality, the corruption in the country will not allow that to take place. Imagine allowing the diasporans to vote. How will the diaspora vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu? How will they vote for him? They will absolutely not vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They cut off people who are well exposed, people who make better informed political decisions, and allow those who are not exposed, who are not informed, people who lack rational thinking, people who cannot decipher good governance, people who have never experienced good governance all over their life, people that celebrate roads, people that celebrate bridges as good governance, people who don't even know what HDI is all about, people who celebrate IGRU as a means of good leadership. These are the kind of people they are allowed to vote so that they can keep electing corrupt and uninformed leaders that will keep making this our country not to move forward. Any day they will allow electronic transmission of results in this country. Any day they will allow diasporans to vote in this country. That is the day that these corrupt politicians will cease to exist in this country, and they are aware and they will not do it. But the problem is Nigerians. We know this thing. We know what we want. Why can't we force these people to give us what we want? Why can't we force the National Assembly to give us what we want? We voted them there. We sent them there. We have the power to remove them. We have the power to demand anything from them. Why do we allow less than 1% of the population to control our destiny? Nigerians, it is time to rise up. It is time for us to take our country. It is time for us to demand accountability, good governance from these people. If they cannot give us what we want, we sack them. We have the power to send them packing. Look at what happened in the 2023 general election. A lot of career politicians were sent packing because we decided we can do that. And the time is now. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.